Hey Cougar fans, here with University of Sioux Falls Athletic Director Josh Snyder, talking about the past year here at the University of Sioux Falls. Hi, I'm Dan Gensler, Sports Information Director. Josh, the past year has been quite a run for USF Athletics. The women's team do very well in basketball. We had a couple of playoff teams, including our football team. Talk about how you viewed the year overall. Academic success was there, a lot of service. Talk about how you saw this past year at USF.
Well, I think the past year was really a great accomplishment for us. Overall sports standings in the conference, we finished 6th again, as we have now for the 4th year in a row. But we've improved in points and narrowed that gap each and every year, and I think that next year we're poised to take that up a notch or two. Which, not that there's anything to be ashamed of for finishing 6th in a strong conference of 16 teams, but I really think we can make another step and move up into the 4th or 5th spots, and look forward to doing that. But this year's been great. We had our first team sport with football make a national tournament. They made the playoffs. Unfortunately, with a bunch of travel issues and some other things, we lost a close game. Had a play on the last play of the game, basically, that had a chance to tie or win, but wasn't to be, and we followed that up with women's basketball winning our first conference tournament championship, and along the way we had several other teams experience NIC postseason berths. We had All-Americans in track and field, pole vault. We had conference champions, and it was really an all-around fantastic year, so I can't complain. And you alluded to the academic success of our student athletes. That just continues to impress me. We have tremendous student athletes that do very well in the classroom. Our graduation rate is in the top of the country in Division II. Our academic progress rate as well, we were recognized for that this past year. We've had 100+ student athletes each year recognized by the conference on the academic distinction awards. It's been really a great year.
One of the things that sometimes we don't like to get lost in the shuffle when you got numbers coming out every week and different games coming out every week. For our academic success rate to hit at 91%, number 20 in the country, tied with a few other schools, but that was simply a great honor earlier in the year, and it's something that I know you take great pride in, but USF as well takes great pride overall. Administration all the way up the hill to the president and so on. Talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We were the only school in our conference recognized nationally for that award, and it put us in the top 10% of Division II schools. And that's something to really be proud of, and it's a tremendous accomplishment. I've been at several schools at D1 and D2 levels, and while that hasn't been around my entire career, still it's been around for more than 10 years. This is the first time that I've been at a school recognized for that great honor. So it's a tremendous accomplishment. Our student athletes should take a ton of pride, as should our coaches, for recruiting tremendous student athletes. And we try to promote it as much as possible. I take great pride in it, as does everyone here. Sometimes things do get lost in the shuffle, though, as you're continuing to have successful seasons and putting out stories on a daily and weekly basis. And so I'm not sure if as many people notice it as we would have liked, and I think we need to take some steps probably to get some signage up and make people really truly appreciate it when they come to the building.
One of the things you talk about, some of the academic success of our student athletes, we had 9 more recognized all-conference. We had a couple academic All-Americans. I think we had 148 this year overall, and we had 40 others named All-League, 13, 14 kids named All-American. Numbers are there, and then 2 of them, John Tidwell and Brady Rose, were honored, and Brady Rose will be back as a returning academic All-American. And then you have an All-American in softball for the first time. So we had innumerable successes both on and off the field. That makes you pretty proud, right?
It's great. That's what that's what got us in this business. I'm sure you can say the same thing. I know it speaks to me. You know, you do this for the student athletes. That's what it's all about. You know, without them, we wouldn't be here, and you want to put them in positions to have success. They still have to do it themselves, which they've done, but you have coaches that push them and hold them accountable, and student athletes that take great pride in that, and we as an administration, you know, couldn't be more pleased with the direction that we're going and the success that we're having along the way.
You know, we announced our Athletes of the Year earlier. Solomon St. Pierre, he's a 16-time All-American kid from Wagner, South Dakota. And then Taylor Varsho had an unbelievable year as a senior. She led a senior-dominated team to that basketball championship. And the atmosphere we had during the course of the year, especially in those playoffs, were pretty significant. It's an opportunity to thank the students, right? And how they supported students, supporting students was incredible.
Well, yeah, our other students are, and a lot of them are student athletes, but maybe not in that sport, obviously, have done a tremendous job of supporting each other. It's really great. I think they take a lot of pride in that fact. We had some tremendous turnouts in football this past year. We had tremendous turnouts in basketball this past year. You know, I went to baseball and softball games, and we had great student attendance in there. You know, even we hosted a track meet. We had students that came out for that. You know, we even had some, you know, golf events in town where student athletes went out. I mean, maybe not in mass droves, but we had people that support, you know, in all of our sports, and it's really great especially when it comes from them. You know, they need to continue to take a lot of pride in that, and I know that they do. You know, it's also, you mentioned all these great student athletes and seniors that we know that, you know, unfortunately aren't going to be back playing for us next year. It's the ups and downs of working in college athletics. You see tremendous kids come through the program and mature into tremendous men and women, and, you know, lead your teams and have great success, and then they move on to other things in life. And certainly, you know, we wish them all the best, and we're excited for their futures. We're sure going to miss them around here.
You know, one of the awards that we can't fail to mention is an award that we're going to recognize and be part of when Matt Horan gets this award from the league office this year at the Hall of Fame banquet. That's not the first time we've won that award, and talk about the pride that you get out of student athletes when you get to see them up on the podium.
Well, it's great. I mean, in just the, you know, time that I've been here now, and in just over 2 years, we've had 2 awards from the conference, Billy Brockmuller and now Matt Horan, who, you know, win the Male Student Athlete of the Year award, essentially. And we've had, you know, Billy also won 3 Elite 89s. Tavia Rutherford won 1. You know, frankly, Matt, if you know, our team had qualified for the cross-country championships this past year, which I know they were disappointed not to, he might have come home with 1. You know, we've got just amazing student athletes who are at the pinnacle of their success academically as well as athletically, and it's rewarded for that, and that's tremendous. It's a great honor when you have 2 of the 3 male awardees. You know, this will be my 3rd summer, and we'll have 2 of them now, so that's pretty incredible.
Really impressive. You know, we talk about the student athletes, but, you know, we have a coaching staff here that does an incredible job bringing student athletes that are a great fit for this campus. Talk about, from your personal perspective, about the coaching staff and even, of course, the staff and all the others that are key players in the successful program.
Well, you know, obviously being a private Christian institution, you know, that's a focus of ours, and I think that, you know, a lot goes into that, and we hold our student athletes to a high level of accountability, and we recruit with that in mind. And not every coach runs his or her program in the same exact manner. Not every coach emphasizes, you know, the Christian aspect as much as others, but it's a part of all of them. And I think because of that, we can really find our niche and attract student athletes that want that to be a part of their life and want that to be a part of their collegiate experience. And, you know, fortunately for us, oftentimes that goes hand in hand with high levels of achievement, high levels of leadership, high levels of academic success, as well as, you know, athletics and just great character. They have service in the community. You know, they lead by by example. They take part in all of our conference and NCAA experiences when they get the opportunities to go out into the community and take part in the service projects. And I've had tremendous feedback about our student athletes when they have done that. And it's a great sense of pride. And one of the things that really attracted me to USF.
We talked about some of the successes. There are different things like you have 5 senior women's basketball players that help lead a team to the school's first ever conference championship. And then in the spring we have 7 athletes that compete in the pole vault, go out to nationals. 6 of them come away with All-American honors. I know you were there. And so when you're sitting in the stands and you're seeing our team bypass certain heights and others have to catch up with them and to perform at a high level and to get, I think it was somewhere around 8 or 9 All-American awards themselves at those 2 indoor and outdoor nationals. That really resonates with AD, doesn't it?
It sure does. I was we're hosting 2018 National Championships, so that has really given me an opportunity to make it a priority to go to the outdoor championships both last year and again this year, and I hope to do it again next year. Not only have we had success in student athletes competing there, which has been great for me to witness firsthand, but it's also a great opportunity to see how other schools do it and bring some of those ideas back. But one of the things that I did was attend the administrators meeting for all the coaches mostly, and before the meet started, and at that meeting I should say, the coaches and assistant coaches of the year are announced, and they come up and get an award. And I was sitting there watching coach after coach go up and get these awards, and I realized almost to a person they were on teams that had a chance to win a national championship. They were on the top few teams in the country for the most part. But I was sitting there watching that and wondering, and I jokingly, but not really jokingly, said this to Reed. I said, how many of those coaches that are going up there and getting these Coach of the Year awards have 7 student athletes from their position group competing in this national championship? That is remarkable. And I told him, I said, I'm not sure who does the selections or if I need to get on someone's case about nominating you, but we need to do something about that next year, because that's a feat that I can't imagine a lot of coaches can point to and say that 7 of their individual student athletes were competing for national titles. And to a person, you said 6 All-Americans. I believe it was 7. I think Sophie was a second teamer as well. I think all of them earned second team All-American, 4 of them first team. And it was a remarkable accomplishment. It was fantastic.
So we go from student athletes to coaches, and of course we're sitting in the Stewart Center, which had an upgrade in the past year. Air conditioning was brought in, and for the first time since we've been here, they were able to hold camps, and there's a lot of comfort in the facility. But you've also rebranded the intro, the corridor area of the Stewart Center. Talk about some of those upgrades that fans have seen this year and what might lie ahead for them.
The reality is we have put $1.5 million or maybe more into facility improvements here in just the past year, and most of those, other than obviously a beautiful turf, but most of those are going to be unnoticed by most fans. We don't go around, generally speaking, patting ourselves on the back and promoting that, so we're not putting out press releases about all the money we're spending. We're just going about our business and doing what we need to do. But I can promise you this, last summer I would not be sitting here in this warm pullover in this gymnasium in the middle of summer when it's 90 degrees outside.
Right.
So yes, the air conditioning is fantastic. It really has provided our coaches an opportunity to come in here and do camps, which will pay unseen dividends down the road. I think that people don't realize how important camps are to not only your branding and your image around town and the region, but in developing fans for the future and developing potential students, even if they're not student athletes down the road. They come here and they come here and they come here year after year after year, and they start falling in love with the place and the people. And eventually, when they're 18 years old, they graduate from high school and they're looking for a place to go to college. This is one of the places that stands out to them, and their parents become more familiar, and it resonates through people after people, and it pays dividends down the road. So we're very excited about that. That's something that seems like a small thing that really can have a huge impact down the road. Obviously, the turf was tremendous. We rolled that out this past season. The kids were, very excited to play on it. I know our fans were very excited to see it. It's beautiful. I couldn't have asked for a better design. It's really amazing. We started dressing up this building a little bit, as you mentioned, put new graphics and branding, imaging out front in the lobby and around the office spaces on the windows, so that when you come in, you know that you're in an athletics building at USF, and you know that the Cougars play here. And we want that to continue to be promoted and pushed. And we're going to do some more things here in the gym to do the same thing. We're going to do some more things at the football stadium to show the same thing. And hopefully we'll start doing some more things on campus too. I mean, we don't, have as big of a presence on the rest of campus, but we certainly should be a part of it. I mean, I've been to many other schools, not only working but just visiting, and the schools that take pride in that and really promote that throughout campus have had certainly the biggest impact on me personally. And I think we can do that. We have a campus that really supports athletics, so I think that they'll be willing to. And take it even a step further when admissions brings students on campus. I know that they make a point to walk them through that lobby because they want them to see that and have that branded in their mind just as much as we do our fans. So we'll continue to do more of that. There's some other things in the works that that aren't necessarily imminent, as we have a huge project on campus that we're going to be breaking ground on here with the new residence hall. So some of the athletics facilities might need to take a small backseat to that project, but that'll be done in the next year. I think we can really move forward after that. As I said, we're hosting nationals. We'll have to resurface our track and put some improvements into our track complex probably next summer as well. So big things coming.
A lot of exciting things happen here, Cougar fans. One of the things that sometimes maybe we don't do enough to blast it out and market it quite enough, but we've had a number of first-time things happen. The tennis program, for example, they win their first ever match at the conference meet and had a great season with Coach Grebben and that group of seniors. We mentioned the women's basketball and the football, but men's basketball, for example, they get to a tournament for the first time, and they push the national champion clear to the end. They lose a close game, and had a great season. And then you just go up and down the list. Cross country, they didn't do something for the first time, except for they finished second in the league for what it is, I think, the fourth straight year. And so all of these stories are absolutely incredible as time goes on here, right?
Yeah, we've got big things brewing. There's no question. They're building and building and building. Our coaches want to have success, and we're giving them the tools to have that success, and they're taking advantage of that. And there are times when I look at them and can't believe how much they overachieve. Truthfully, they do a tremendous job. Very happy to be associated with them and help lead them through these times, and excited to be a part of it myself. And the success that we had last year, I think we're going to continue to build on this year coming up, and I think we're going to continue to build on it as we move forward in the future.
Okay. Finally, one of the things that we like to always tie in is the personal side of things. Here you are, your third year in the program. How are you and your family doing now in the community in Sioux Falls for the past 3 years now?
That's we're getting there. It's a great place. My wife and I both grew up an hour away in Sioux City, and so it was truly coming home for us, which has been great. Anytime you move as a child, it's difficult to make new friends and get established, and for us as well. Although obviously our focus is more on them for the time being. We want to get them established, and then after that we can kind of start doing some things ourselves. And I think we're finally getting there. I really do. I think we're turning the corner. My oldest daughter is involved in a lot of things. She's actually on a national trip for student organization right now, hosting, which she'll be a school president and state president. She's the president-elect this year. Will be the president the next year. My son's been competing in football and track at the middle school, and he's doing some weightlifting stuff this summer, and some kind of a game coding camp, as well. JC she's just one of those creative people that wants to do everything, and so she's involved in it all. But they're getting there. They've got friends, and they're starting to move forward. And my wife and I are doing the same thing, and we couldn't be happier to be part of the USF community.
And finally, I think one of the things that happened last year, fans will be familiar with this, is you developed the Cougar Pride Club a year ago, and you had a good, solid response to that. What do you have to say to the alums at this point? What do you want? How do you want them to be part of the team here at USF?
Well, we have to keep reaching out. We need to keep telling them and encouraging them to be a part, that we want them to be a part. And certainly, there's a financial aspect to that. I'm not going to sugarcoat and say that there isn't. We do need finances to continue to be successful, no doubt. And so, I certainly want them to help us financially. But even more than that, I want them to be a part of it. I want them to feel that they're a part of it as much as I do, and as much as you do, as much as our coaches and student athletes do. I want them to be in the stands and come and support us and take pride in all the great accomplishments that's happening at the school. And I want them to feel that they have a part in that, because they do. And so we're going to continue to reach out to them. We're going to continue to encourage them to join, to come to games, to do all those things. I mean, we all have busy lives. I get that. Not everyone can be a season ticket holder. But if you can't be a season ticket holder, join the Cougar Pride Club, for a small contribution. It doesn't have to be a large amount, whatever you can afford at this point in your life. Come to as many games as you can. Bring your family, bring your kids, encourage them to come to USF later in life. Continue to get the word out and be a part of it. That's really what we want. And I speak to finances. I'll talk to that just briefly. We had a record-breaking year in athletics for fundraising, and I'm not saying that we've hit the ceiling, because I don't think we're anywhere close. But we improved ticket sales by about 25% this past year. We improved corporate sponsorships by probably 35 or 40%. We improved total revenue raised over any year in the past 10 years by double. So we've got good things going. Doesn't mean we're there. We're still behind some of our peers. We're ahead of some of our peers, but we're still behind some of our peers. And we have a great market in Sioux Falls that continues to grow to help support us, and that's fantastic. And we've got very loyal alums, and that's also fantastic. And so we just need to keep tapping into them, keep getting the word out. I encourage them that are already members and are already part and coming to games to reach out to their friends and family and classmates, etc., and get them to join as well. Encourage them to come, bring them to a game, do all those sorts of things. That's only going to help us as we continue to move down the road. I mean, I want people around not only Sioux Falls, but the state of South Dakota and this entire Midwest region to hear USF and think about us, to know what that means, to know it's the University of Sioux Falls, to know it's the Cougars, and to know that any contributions or support they give is going to a tremendous cause to help change people's lives.
That's been Josh Snyder, the athletic director at the University of Sioux Falls. Fans, remember, it's not going to be long before we start off football and volleyball and cross country, and then we'll work our way into basketball and the other sports. So we invite you to come out and support USF Athletics, and thanks for stopping by.
Go Coug!